Wanderers, welcome to the Wondering Dutchmen Podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Celebration Ice. You've got a chilly night around the fire, a festive tailgate, or a porch party going on, but you forgot one important detail for the festivities. That's right, you forgot ice. Your wife reminded you, your kids even probably said something too, but you still forgot. Good news is, you can throw an ice cube in any direction in this county and likely find a business that carries Celebration Ice. That's right, Celebration Ice is the official ice company of bonfires, tailgates, and parties. I mean, let's be honest, the name of the company is Celebration Ice. So buy you a bag or 10 today because the fellers over at Celebration Ice don't mind making more.
The Wondering Dutchmen Podcast.
Where none of us are Dutch, but we all live in Holland, Indiana. Join us where we talk about what we all wonder about. This is the Wondering Dutchmen Podcast coming to you from, that's right, we're back on home turf, Smokers Lounge.
The Wondering Dutchmen! Yeah! The Wondering Dutchmen! Yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Wondering Dutchmen Podcast, coming to you from Smokers Lounge. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over there at Celebration Ice. Yes, it's still been 90 degrees all week. You still need ice. You better be getting it from our friends over there in Jasper at Celebration Ice. All right, we are back in Smokers Lounge. Great to be back on the home turf. We hope you enjoyed last week's episode there at the Ring Cabin located in Holland Park. We recorded during the third annual Wandering Dutchman Backyard Barbecue Competition. We all survived.
That's right.
Nobody died, which
Right.
would mean we all survived. But nobody outside the circle died.
Burnt leg and some hurt feelings, but other than that,
And everybody was able to stay married, at least thus far.
yeah.
That's right.
That's the
right.
big thing. When
Huge
you get,
success.
There
when
is
you-
some bruises from this barbecue fest after party.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably true. Got to watch out for the propane
Hoosier
tanks around the corner.
two-step is a real thing,
Thing
guys.
is, he wasn't even stepping after we checked the footage. It was just one of those real
Uh,
head back, finish the beers, and
just
lost him.
But whenever you get the boys together with friends in the neighborhood and other people that are close to the Dutchman circle, it gets to be a little rowdy.
we like to have a good time.
Nobody got arrested.
Nope.
We
We actually
on the
had
Dutchman
we had the 5-0 on the scene a couple
Yeah.
times, and
We
Not
called him
us.
out on the video last week.
yeah,
Yeah.
the cops were
I hope
there.
I shouldn't have cut that out because I didn't.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know what you said, but it'll be okay.
Let's just announce that the
Police officers were there.
well, not the police officer, like the chief of police was there.
Oh yeah, he
Oh,
was.
yeah. Well, he was there. He was behaving himself. He was just,
Yeah.
he'd brought the wife and the kids to the fest, and he came down to see
stopping
what was
by
going
to
on.
say hi.
He's a big wonder.
That's right.
Shout out, Chief of Police Huntingburg, Indiana. Anyways, fellas, it was a good time. We were kind of talking about it all fair. During the show of last week, we kind of, the cooks and the teams were working, and they were doing their thing, so we really didn't have a lot to discuss at that time. But
Sure.
now that the competition's over, what's the big takeaway you've got from it?
You know, I don't know if I have a big takeaway, just other than community, man. It was
Yeah.
such a great time. Nobody was in 3 years in a row. You got people coming from all over. It's still a competition. So you expect people to be a little competitive, but everybody's nice. Everybody wants to help each other out. You know, free smells all day.
Yeah, some free taste if you walk up and
Yeah, at the right time.
I ate my share of free meat.
But it was just it was just a good time. I can't go down there and not have a good time.
Right.
Now maybe you might say I have too good a time.
No such thing.
I won't say it.
I mean, Jenna Michelle only said she was disappointed in you once, so that's good.
Better than the year before.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true. That's true.
My biggest takeaway is I think we touched on it a little bit on the cabin show, and I don't know how locked in I was there, but this time I am locked in, and I'm going to make this as quick and painless as I can. But without this stellar list of sponsors, we would not be able to make this happen. And I know we talk about them all the time. All of them are, reoccurring sponsors. We've had them for years. They've been with us in our corner for a long time. But real quick, DuBois County Tire, Jumping Jacks, K&J Insurance, LC Lawn Care, Blessinger Insurance, branded by Woods, Melissa Luker Realty, Krieg Insurance, Velpen Disposal, Celebration Ice, The Gaslight Pizza and Grill, Butcher and Barrel, Toys Autos, Hayes Heating, Air and Repair, Bob's Liquor, Hopf Outdoor Power, The Rugged Foot, Love Excavating, Southern Indiana Hardwoods, and our friends at Best Home Furnishings really hooked us up. They've hooked us up every year. They make it possible. Doing the legwork, getting there's never a conversation that's, I don't know about this year. It's always, yes, we'll give you what you need. Hope you guys have a blast. A lot of those sponsors come out and visit during the competition. We've seen a lot of them. Had a great time with all of it. My biggest takeaway this year was there was no drama.
Correct.
Everything worked out. The judges had a good time. We had a good time. There was a lot more mingling amongst teams, and stuff like that, even though we were a little bit more spread out this year. Sleeping in that cabin is probably one of my highlights of the fest.
Listen,
even though the chinking of that cabin could have been jeopardized through the night Friday due to the amount of snore decibels that was happening down there. But guys, look, I screwed up.
Oh, and my alarm.
I screwed up.
And I don't know if I told you, but I pulled the old camping trick.
Yeah.
I was hooked up to the Bluetooth speaker, and at 5:50, I never even heard it.
I'm surprised Jenna didn't hear it from home.
She might have.
Because that gymongoloid 4-foot tall fucking speaker was broadcasting that baby all the way out. I got up and thought I turned it off without my glasses on.
You just snoozed.
Turns out I just hit the snooze, but then the second time it went off, Jed Fitch said that he got hang time out of his seat. It scared him so bad that he walked over and shut it off. So big shout out to Jed for getting that taken care of. But
sorry, boys.
We had a great time. Everybody was happy. It all worked out. We gave away our $1,000 grand prize to Mr. Pete Merkel. He won the first year, and second place went to Mike Condra. And those guys they're humble winners. Condra loaded up as soon as he got the pictures taken and took off to Northern Illinois for another competition.
Guy loves it.
I think he did that last year too.
Yeah. So my biggest takeaway is I was on the fence this year whether or not to have it, because it is a little bit of a pain in the butt to get everything going. But once we got the ball rolling, it was like a snowball effect. Everything just rolls into place, and it worked out. And I think we're gonna keep the train rolling.
I feel like in year 4, I think we're real close to like just having a box. Mm-hmm. Like, this is a barbecue box, and not barbecue
I have
for
one
cooking, but like I think we know what we need. We know we
I got it. I got it. The barbecue competition box.
I feel like it missed a couple things.
It did. It missed several things this year. Yeah, scorecards. That was a big thing.
Shout out Jill Noblet for the help on that.
Big time shout out Jill Noblet for that. And we're going to talk to Melanie about getting a Wi-Fi booster down there, because that was brutal trying to send an email.
That is tough. Yeah, it is tough.
What about you, buddy?
Thinking about getting
I got a couple takeaways. The first one is our barbecue competition has become family. You were just talking about the teams, like getting to know each other. It's the same group, and it's a blast. Like hanging out down there. For those folks that went up and they supported Holland Fest and the beer garden and did all that stuff, the real party was down there afterwards when friend of the program, Jesse Bolte, got the old acoustic out.
Oh, man.
And started singing some songs.
What a stellar musician.
And guys just hanging out, and gals just hanging out, having a good time. The cabin is the perfect spot for us. The other thing of it is Condra and Pete are pretty good, but those other 5 teams are getting better. The judges even said those guys are improving, and I think it's only I think it's great. They're improving. They're getting better, and I love it, because part of me, like the biggest downfall to the competition for me is when we announce the winners and the scoring, because I'd love to hand out participation trophies. Like everybody deserves to be recognized, because from Friday night at 5, bottomed out a little bit there. From Friday night at 5 o'clock
Coming in hot.
I ain't paying for nothing else on that.
to Saturday at 3 or 4. Like, they're working at it.
Yeah.
And there's
Busted,
all
man.
that stuff
She
they
must
set
be
up.
thirsty.
All that stuff that gets set up has to get picked right back up.
And we I caught some flack, you know what I mean? Brother Nobby and Brother Love and a couple other guys and Brahmas and those cats were like, yeah, look at her
Said I
fucking
ain't
laughing.
paying for anything else on that van.
But they came up and was like, hey, where the hell's my participation trophy? How come you don't pay out for third place? Like, oh, da, 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 da. And, maybe we'll get there.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. But I have a blast doing it. Obviously, I was really wanted to stay in the cabin, but I rode it out to 3:15 in the morning. Got home to do
you
my
must have tucked
fatherly
me
duties.
in because I feel like that's right about when I went to bed.
Yeah, it was the perfect time because everybody was just kind of dropping off.
Big fella, I'm tired. Let's go to bed.
Yeah. But I told Janelle when I got home, I said, honey, you are the best wife anybody could ask for. You put up with a lot of shenanigans, but I've got to stay in that cabin next year because I feel I got FOMO so bad that I didn't get to plug in my CPAP and sleep in the ring cabin from 1867. Old Conrad built a steady one there. But overall, it's a fun weekend. It's a blast. Now, I did have to pay my penance when the barbecue competition was over. Our friends at Jumping Jacks Entertainment, every year somebody sponsors them to put their inflatables out there. And my 2 oldest children and I got to hang out there for I was there for at least 3 hours.
I was wondering how long you had.
Yep. By the time Janelle got there, I was like, I'm done. I want to go somewhere else. Like, I'm tired of standing here. Like, I've seen a whole new crop of kids come and go. I watched a little kid cornhole competition, got updates from there. I was helping watch other people's kids because I was the only dumb fucker standing there. And I was ready to go. And it was... So, towards the end, some poor kid probably told his parents, some bearded, balded asshole yelled at me. But they were wrestling over a ball. And Janelle had gotten there. And little Reese, man, he's going to be 3 months here, was in his stroller. And the kid kicked it once, and I let it slide. They were wrestling around. The second time, I looked at that little motherfucker. I said, hey, get out of here. Go, get on. He looked like he had never been yelled at before. I said, get out of here. Go somewhere else. And he was like, what, man? I said, you guys are back here wrestling. I let it happen once when you kicked it. Just move. And he was like, man, okay. And then the lady in the Jumpin' Jack shirt goes, do you want one of these to work? I said, you wouldn't want me to work here because all these little fuckers would be standing in line to go into the bounce house, to come out of the bounce house. The next one would go in.
Put your shoes on and get out of here.
Put your feet on the yellow footprints, you little maggots.
And Janelle looked at me. She goes, are you okay? I said, honey, I was up till 3 last night, been drinking all day, stood out here for 3 hours to watch my kid play on a bounce house, which it's great. I appreciate Jumpin' Jacks for doing it, but I was at my wit's end.
You were done.
And I was done.
You were done.
I was probably a little hangry.
It's all right.
And we went, we got food. Everything worked out fine. When Janelle finally said, hey, it's time to go, I said, great, because we're all going to go to Dave's and drink because it's his birthday. We got to celebrate. I really hate to leave you, but I'm gone.
Hey, man, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, but that kid looked like he hadn't been yelled at before. And I'm just going to tell you
4 years or so, he's going to show up to the first day of middle school baseball and go, it's him.
That son of a bitch.
Oh, and Janelle just looked, and she just was like flabbergasted. And I was like, listen, he kicked the stroller once. I let it slide. He did it again. I moved him on. She's like, well, I don't know that you had to yell at him. I go, yeah, I did. Because little shithead kids like that are the ones that grow up to be shithead teenagers, that grow up to be shithead adults.
Oh, boy, here we
It's
go.
all downhill from there.
I guess-
Last week, where's your New Balance?
Yeah. Kid lets one stray punt get away from him, and God bless him.
Not one.
But two.
Well, and you can, man, I'm not going to go this. No, fuck it. There's some people that need to do a better job of raising their kids to not be little assholes. They need a little bit of supervision. Too many of them run freaking wild, and they think they can just run ramshot over everything. And I'm going to turn Rhino in to be the meanest asshole ever to just fight those kids. And every time he comes home from school suspended for something like that, I'm just going to pat him on the back and say, well done, son.
I got $1.
Got it.
Shit. Let's get into it.
All right. Hey, before we do, though, our buddy Chad Blessinger wants to remind you about, and none of us needed this, which is great, National Life Insurance Awareness Month is here in September. Luckily, none of us had to use it this past weekend. September is National Life Insurance Awareness Month, and friend of the program and good buddy of ours, Chad Blessinger of Blessinger Insurance, wants to do his best in making sure your family is financially secure in the event something were to happen to you. Life insurance is important, and it is a major player in financial security for the loved ones you leave behind. Take the initiative today. Chad has the experience and knowledge to help you and your loved ones, not only now during Life Insurance Awareness Month, but when you are ready to have that conversation. Don't delay. Tomorrow is never guaranteed. Have a plan. Be prepared. Call Chad Blessinger today. All right, big fella, we got.
Well, I was doing some figuring today at the gas pump.
Did you have your shoes off?
Nope.
Okay.
I set my trip, which I do. I'm a religious trip meter resetter. And I was just thinking to myself how much I drive through the week and how fast that gargantuous 5.4 liter Triton really just sucks her down.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to looking at the numbers, and it kind of, which for me, a lot of folks are going to say, well, that ain't bad. I drive 30 times that, you know. But my topic just simply states, I think I need a Tesla. Like if Tesla could just make like a van that's four-wheel drive, that's electric, that would probably be really cool. Like a four-wheel drive electric van that you could put like a nice leveling kit on and not make it look like the ambiguously gay duo car and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would probably look into that. Just some simple numbers here. It's 9.9 miles one way from my driveway.
Some would say a simple number would be 10.
Yeah, 9.9 miles from my driveway to my work. One way.
Okay.
And from where most of my children's athletic activities, from my house to that location, which is the rack at Southridge High School, is 7.4 miles one way.
Okay.
So just for example, today,
Okay.
I drove to work,
10 miles.
came home,
20 miles.
went to the rack,
7.5, so 27.5.
went back home from the rack,
Oh, shit, Dave.
34.
35.
35.
went back to the rack,
42.5.
and then came back home.
49
40,
and a half.
50. 42.5 plus 7.
If we're going to like splitting hairs, that's 49.4 miles is what I've drove.
He driv it.
I
driv
driv
it.
that. I driven that today, with only living
Not counting your trip to here.
on
Oh,
average.
now you're really going to send him into the...
On average, like Dave said, it's wild to think that you've drove 50 miles today, and you only live.
Never been farther than 7 miles.
Never been farther than eight or 9 miles from home. And I do that on average, and for sure I do that 3 days a week.
150 miles.
And then on some days I do it more than that. But like 150 miles a week is what I drive in that white car. And if that thing
7,200 miles a year, I think.
That's
No, 150 a week, 600 a month, 12 months.
720.
Yeah. 720.
So if I'm going
60 times 12, right?
49.5 miles a day
Right?
divided by
600 times 12,
11.5 miles a
7,200.
gallon.
So take 7,200 divided by your gallonages.
7,200 divided
You probably
by
get, what, 14 miles a gallon? Your
no,
heavy foot?
11.5.
Oh.
So that's 626. So 627
Gallons of fuel a year just to go to work in sports.
just to go to work in sports. And if you
Take
time,
that times 295.
yeah,
gas
if you
to go.
times
Let's say
that,
3.
let's just go. So that's $1,865 in gas.
And 2 services.
Unless you do every 3,000 miles.
Yeah.
Well, I figured he's probably doing every 5, so I was kind of rounding up.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that a lot?
Not really. Yeah, national average, you should be putting on, what's national average? 5,000 a month? I think it's 5,000 a year. Yeah, that sounds right.
Dollars in gas?
No, miles. Miles a year. I was thinking it was 1,000 miles a month. I thought it was like 12. Yeah, I was thinking it was at least 12,000 a month.
So what
Here.
I'm getting at, from what I'm thinking, even though I live very close to my activities and workplace, I just feel like I drive quite a bit, just running kids and shit.
E-bikes.
Now I know you drive.
I was going to say, you really want me to go?
No,
with my
I know
numbers?
you drive a lot more than I do,
Uh-huh.
and so does my wife. Like my wife drives 40, 43, 44 miles one way.
I got 100 miles a day going to work.
Yeah. Right. But that's strictly just to and from work and running kids. That doesn't count the rest of the story. Yeah, can't be driving for fun.
That's why we got buggies.
True.
Yeah. So your numbers, which is funny. So I got about 100 miles round trip, 5 days a week, 500 miles in a pickup truck that gets 17 miles to a gallon. We've done the math where I could make payments on a Tesla and not act. I actually, it would be a net positive for me because the resort has all these charging stations. I would plug it in when I need to at work, and I would never draw a single dime out of my home charging station.
So like I say, a guy at work did this, and it won't be this year, but I'm really thinking serious about it next year. You're getting a used Tesla. Because he, even though he sold his, I don't know what he sold something, made the down payment, he's making small payments for a few years or whatever. But even with those payments, with what he's saving on fuel from his truck, now he's not making much, but he's making some dollars at the end of the month by driving that instead of his.
I think Arlo said that he's right around $30, $32 or $36 a month
What he's making or spending?
is what he's spending a month
And I
now.
think that he also has the package, like, so to have the self-driving turned on,
Yeah.
that's like $100 a month. So if he's paying for that, that's probably about right, because
Yeah.
that's an optional thing. You don't have to do that. It'll course correct, but if you want to like punch in an address and it take you there, that costs you $100 a month.
Right. And I'm not saying that we're married to Elon and the old Tesla brand, you know what I mean? But I know a lot of, like, a friend of the program, the Shirleys, they've got a total
Blazer.
the Blazer, the new total EV Blazer. And the same thing. She knew that she was going to need that because she was switching jobs and her commute was, exponentially different than what it was. And I don't know, like so Justine and I are kind of in the boat where she's going to need a new car because Howdy Honda's knocking on 3 hundo.
Well, yeah,
before-
when you're bottoming out coming up the driveway at Mock Jesus.
So, it's like we're going to have to get a new coach of some kind, you know what I mean, here coming up. And I was thinking about it today, like I won't need that when the twins get their driver's license and start driving and stuff, I won't need that big old boat anymore. I could at that point maybe transfer into a truck or something that's a little bit more.
Probably an S10.
Yeah.
That's standard cab.
I like S15s better, the GMC models. That was
Yeah.
always my forte. But you know what I mean? I don't know. I was just thinking about, like, going forward. I was always a big red-blooded, right-winged, coal-farming son of a bitch, and the old EVs, which I know we're not allowed to talk about green energy with you, which that gets brought up every time, and that's fine because it's a funny joke. But
I'll just reiterate for new listeners, I have no problem,
no qualms.
no qualms with green energy. I just don't believe the technology is there to
Right.
mass capture it.
And again, you
To
could
the
still
extent
be,
needed.
honestly, driving an electric vehicle, you could say is more dependent on coal than a gasser. Because
Now.
you got to have the
Now.
you got to have the electricity. and
True,
that's-
true,
we're burning
true.
coal to get it.
With the current infrastructure, yes.
And yeah, it's funny you bring that up. So I was on my walk today, my lunchtime walk, and I was thinking about the Tesla that I was wanting to get and everything. But back in 2003, my senior year, the high school I attended was in this EV challenge way back then, and they took a Cavalier, pulled the motor out,
Oh, you're gonna jerry
left the
rig something.
transmission in, and they put a big ass electric motor in there and a bunch of car batteries. And they were able to make it work. It was a manual transmission car, so it's still a manual transmission. You could put it in fifth gear and chirp the tires in fifth gear from a dead stop.
Because it was torquey.
Right. But I've been thinking,
Torquey fucker.
you know, I've been looking at all these motors that you can buy for electric, like golf
Oh,
carts.
God. Here we go.
And on Beaver, they're pretty cheap. And I thought, man, if I could find me a Festiva, put a motor at each wheel, then get 2 golf cart batteries like Brother Love has, I think I could drive that thing back and forth to work and, just run electric.
Could you imagine if one wheel ran out of battery faster and he's just
Fred Flintstone.
Yeah.
You in circle.
Well, it'd free spin. It'd just drag the whole system down. But I think you could probably do it. If you had the donor vehicle, I think you could probably do it for $1,500.
Now, some would say that I would have to have some sort of really souped-up Tesla, because I'm just a big fat bastard.
no.
You know what I mean? Holland.
No.
They got
Holland.
tow packages, man. I seen one with truck plates the other day. And you can get them on there because they have a pretty substantially large towing capacity for their size due to the torque that they deliver.
Right. I've seen several videos like, Indiana boy up there whistling diesel where they hooked up. They hooked a Tesla to another pickup, and it was more so just a game of traction at that point. It was like a pure deadlock, really. But
I think I've talked to Janelle and I with as much as we both drive, because we've got about the same drive. We just go in opposite directions. And I told her, like, this is crazy to say, and people are going to be like, "Oh, living high on the hill up there." But I told her we're a 4-vehicle family between you and I. And she's like, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, that Nissan Altima that we drive is a godsend because we're saving miles on the Suburban.
Never been in it until this past weekend, by the way. That vehicle's in tip-top shape for 315,000 miles.
I tell you what, Mama Lindemann took really good care of it. We try to. It's a lot with a bunch of kids and all that other stuff, but yeah, it's been taken care of really, really well. But I told her, I was like, we realistically each need to have a fuel-efficient vehicle to drive to work, and then when you're going out on a Friday night, Saturday night, you got your Sunday truck per se. But like also then you're like, we're not going to load ourselves down with payments. We'll probably be 3 vehicles, and we'll just keep rotating and doing what we need to do.
And that's the thing with used Teslas right now. Now, September 31st or 30th or somewhere in there, the tax credit goes away. So for a used one, it's $4,000. So that's going to hurt. But right now, you can buy what I would call gently used, 40, 50,000 mile 4-door Tesla with 6 years of battery warranty left, I think, or 5, somewhere in there. And it's $20,000 to $30,000. I mean, it's still a lot of money, but compared to going out to the lot and buying a new anything.
Don't they have some entry user level? Like, see, I don't need, like, Brother Arlo, I don't need the self-driving. Like, I don't need the bells and whistles.
The Tesla's a Tesla, and there is some entry level, I guess.
it's probably just all software stuff, isn't it?
Well, most of it. The reason that I'd pay more for one is they have the long range ones that get like 350 miles of charge. I think I'd want that. I wouldn't want to. Now you can get into like a Nissan Leaf, and there's some other smaller, dulled down like other manufacturers, but you're looking at a 120-mile range when the battery's brand new. So like for you, you'd be pushing it. Well, you got chargers at work, I guess.
Yeah, I'd just have to charge it every day.
Yeah, and I don't want to get. I would never have one for like, hey, let's go on a road trip.
No.
And take the battery-powered car. But to have one just to zip around here.
Well, and I thought there was going to be some entry into the market by some other manufacturers that were more cost-sensitive, where you're buying a new one for $15,000, $20,000.
Now, there's a new truck that the Amazon guy has backed. And I believe it's an electric truck about the size of a the new Rangers.
Yeah.
Slate, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And those, like the fancy ones, are like 22, 25.
Yeah. The big thing, though, like you talk about, is the warranty. Because when we were talking about a used one, I was like, what, do you get any warranty? Because it'd be my luck. I'd take it off the lot. Batteries would blow up, and then I'm out that. But if you got some life on the warranty.
Fan of the show up the road here, he bought an electric vehicle because he works at the power plant, and had free charging. So he bought it used, didn't have it for a month or two, I think, and then the battery started acting funny. So I think it cost him, I feel like he was telling me, it was like less than $10,000 to buy it. But he got that $4,000
Tax credit.
So it was almost nothing. Well, then the battery started messing up, but it still had a year or two of warranty left on it. So they put a brand new battery on it. They got it back to
Through the other
8
one
years.
in the landfill, which they won't tell you
And
about.
I think they can actually refurbish those now. But anyway, so he did pretty good on it. Then he hit a deer and it got totaled. But like he'd have been set, but he was making money on that deal just because
Well,
I think he could charge at work.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, it dawned on me. I was like, I could, when you look at driving 500 miles a week in a truck that gets 17 miles a gallon and it's costing you $60 or $70 to fill up probably 1.5 times per week, that's your freaking car payment in a month.
Yeah.
Where you got to roll the dice there's repairs. What kind of driving are you doing? Like, what kind of driver are you? I feel like if you're one that doesn't have a good track record for going very long without an incident,
Yeah.
maybe it's not for you. But if you've got a pretty good track record, you're a responsible driver, you know your route, chances are you can probably come out ahead on that. Now, there is a $250 a year adder to your plates or
'cause of the
electric because
tax
you're not paying
and
gas tax. So your plates get a $250 bump on it.
We're just taxed to death.
Yeah, we are.
Death and taxes.
Son of a bitches. 2 guaranteed things of life.
That's
Death
right.
and taxes.
We just talked about that last week.
Yeah. So.
It's unfortunate.
Anyway, that's what I was thinking about.
topic.
Just thinking about, joining the old EV club, and I don't know. I mean, I know it would, for us and our location with the gravel and the lack of road, the prioritization of our road when it comes to inclement weather and bad driving conditions. I mean, it's not.
It's a group effort.
Yeah,
on
like we
there.
do a good job as far as our neighbors getting our road
Yeah.
clear and stuff like that. And the county, they got way more important thoroughfares to deal with than ours.
But they really don't understand that there's,
doctors
Two
and lawyers that live back there that really need to get to work.
vets.
Yeah. So,
spay and neuter your pets.
amen. But anyway, I was just thinking about it.
All right. This is probably a reoccurring topic that we could have anytime something occurs. But it's simply just people in the wild. And not by wild like you're running through the woods, but like you're out in public somewhere. Wait, before we go on, there were 2 other individuals we need to thank when we were talking about the barbecue competition.
Yeah.
Buddy Craig Atkins.
Oh, yeah.
Fan of the show. Craig was there on Friday night and helped a lot Saturday, helped clean up, did a great job. And then the original Chuck Norris, our buddy Mike Kramer, was there for
right.
quite a while.
Super fan.
He helped up.
He helped
He
out with
helped
he helped with the barbecue
Now,
competition.
I'm going to be honest. Our buddy Brado kind of got there and went off to another camp and didn't.
Yeah, he did.
He knew where his bread was buttered or his belly was scratched, and he big timed us a little bit.
Yep.
Yep. We're not going to forget about that, Brado.
Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. I guess.
Anyway, so I wanted to remember to thank
Sure.
Craig and Mike there for their help because we appreciate them coming out and spending their time. So when I say like in the wild, I mentioned it. It's not people like in the woods, but it's just people out in society.
People watch it.
Yeah. And so the other day, it was here in Huntingburg. I got 2 instances here, and then I'll turn it over to the table. 2 instances here. We were at the old Dollar General in Huntingburg, South Side. On Sundays, our friends at More for Less close at 6.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, our soccer schedule,
Runs till freaking 8.
well, yeah, it does. We've been fortunate not to have any of those this year. But we played the 5 o'clock game with only 5 girls. By the way, we only had 5 show up. Had to play all 5. It was tough. And, of course, it was Brother Noblet's squad. They got a stud there.
Yeah.
Probably friend of the program, Jill Noblet. She caught somebody let one rip, and she got the hands up to grab it. Real athletic move
Oh,
on
she's
her part.
sporty.
Sporty. But anyways, so we go to the Dollar General because we drink milk like it's going out of style.
Oh, yeah.
We're probably 3 gallons plus a week.
No, we're more than that.
Well, my kids aren't.
I know.
Yeah, we're getting there. So I get done throwing milk into the old lady tank, and I look over, and some guy got out of his pickup truck. nothing that strikes out of the ordinary with that. He comes walking around the front of the truck. Son of a bitch ain't got no shoes on. Barefoot.
Might have been me.
Walks across the park, walks into the parking lot,
Not anymore.
sidewalk, and walks into Dollar General like he had a pair of sneakers on. And I was just like, isn't there like a saying like no shirt, no shoes, no service? I guess that's only food
It's
restaurants.
actually shoes first.
No shoes, no shirt, no service.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, first off, you couldn't, like, there's Crocs, there's Birkenstocks, there's flip-flops, there's anything you can put on your feet.
Not everybody can afford a pair of Birks.
Oh, I love mine, by the way.
Yeah.
Got them on right now.
Yeah.
But that was the first
What'd you
one.
call him? Oh, Khaki Man last night?
Oh, I forget what it was.
Captain Khaki or something like that? Khaki shorts, khaki Birks. He's got her
Yeah.
going on, baby.
But I was just like flabbergasted. Like I stood there and just watched, and it just, like it was no big deal. Dirty-ass feet walking into Dollar General. Second instance, people in the wild. I was driving back from getting a lift on at work. I think it was Monday.
Getting a what?
Lift.
On your
Workout.
truck? Oh.
yeah. I was
Sorry.
Yeah.
You put a lift on the polar bear?
Polar bear's in a bad spot.
Anyway, a workout. You're on your way back from a workout.
Yeah, and so I look up at the bank, Springs Valley Bank and Trust. Shout out to our girl Cap. She doesn't work in the valley,
Right.
but they've got a nice bank there. There's a champagne-colored Buick,
Well, Buicks.
and some...
Hey, hold on just a second. Shh.
Oh.
Is that Speaking of people working at SVB and
Because it got brought up earlier.
So anyways, so I look up. This guy happens to catch my attention because he's wearing like, he's an older gentleman, probably retired, Hawaiian shirt.
depends
yeah.
on the outside.
Son of a bitch doesn't have it buttoned. And he's got like
oh, yeah?
no undershirt. No undershirt.
Let's say that's
the problem?
David's.
And I'm like, he's walking out of the bank with an envelope, and I'm like, those poor tellers in there.
Did he just go in and do his bank business with his whole ass shirt unbuttoned?
He probably just got out of the garden from working this morning. He's like, I got to stop at the bank. And he just, and I looked and I was like, what are people like, why do you not button up your shirt?
I am probably one of the best people watchers. Now, my mom and dad, when I was a kid, would call it gawking.
Yeah.
I'm a real big gawker.
Stop gawking.
Now, I think it could
Big
be
gawk on you, huh?
Yeah, no. I think it's because of it's probably because of
Big
the
gawker.
ADHD. You know what I mean? Like I think
No,
that's
I'd
probably
never
got a lot
guessed
to do with it
that's what
too.
it was.
Squirrels and whatnots, you know. But which we've talked about this probably more than once before, but I am a huge proponent for people watching. And there are certain events or places that you go.
Barbecue contest wasn't bad Saturday.
Yeah, it was not. But there are several places where you can go to people watch that are better than others. Now, top 3. Number 1, hands down, has got to be Walmart.
Yeah.
Walmart or some sort of large retail store that has like bargain shopping. And Walmart, so used to when I worked nights and the warden worked nights, before we had kids, we would do a lot of shopping late at night. Like we would just sleep during the day and we would try to stay on our schedules and stuff like that and be like, hey, let's just run over to Walmart. And it'd be, you know, if you got there at like 11:50, they do that whole shutdown at 11:59 to roll over for the next day. So you had to either go before or after that because it like all the registers would close and it was just a pain in the dick and all that stuff. So that like 1 o'clock in the morning time slot to 2-3 o'clock in the morning time slot at Walmart, that is a wild world. That is the Wild West is what that was. And guys, I'm telling you, the creatures that come out at night, like that's a real thing. Like
Yeah, I know. I represented him.
Yeah, I know. You've been there, and Dave grew up in it. Like, I know. I know. So it's like, it's nothing new to you.
Hey, Dave, bless your heart, but you grew up with it.
But I mean, like, people watching, and like another thing too, it's terrible to say, but like funerals that you don't know. Like, I went to a Hispanic funeral one time.
Of somebody you didn't know?
No, I knew.
Randomly.
But they got tacos.
Yeah.
No,
But they got some papooses back here in the family room.
that's terrible. I went to a Hispanic funeral.
Did you go get a papoose or a
No,
taco
they did
from
not have any pupusas or tacos.
regular
They were-
old Subway
They were
sandwiches,
mourning the loss of a loved one, and just watching like that different culture and like how they grieve and like how, because we've talked about this before. The family unit for
big there.
It is huge and like in a Mexican family, and like I just people, the way they express grief, it's different, and that was a wild thing. And then I'm struggling to come up with that third one.
Dollar General, probably.
Yeah, Dollar General or one of those other, like the Family Dollar or the
Hey,
Dollar Tree.
Making
Coming
big
along.
progress there.
Oh, concerts. Yes, concerts, live music. Yeah, airports, big time. Yes, ma'am, airports. Yeah.
Airports is a high alert situation because you're looking for the next guy that you think is going to do something wonky on a plane.
Yeah. Yeah, I love people watching, man. I do. I'm a big fan of
Have
it.
you had any people in the wild recently, though?
Oh, well, yeah, I deal with them every day.
Well, I mean, that's what the whole thing was about. I did have something come across my feed in Starkville, Mississippi.
Oh, yeah?
In Starkville, Mississippi, at the Pony down there. And I don't know why this came across my feed, but they're going to do biscuits and gravy wrestling with the ladies.
Oh, yeah.
You want to talk about a night of some people watching old B&Gs and some ladies and G-strings wrestling is probably going to be pretty entertaining.
Now, speaking of people watching at a titty bar, so me and some other guys that I will leave nameless we would frequent a couple of these gentlemen's clubs in Evansville, Indiana, in our youth, and we all worked at the mine together. I'm not going to tell you who they are, but we
I'm
would.
going to describe you to the to it.
So we would always carry like a nice set of clothes in our vehicle, and if we would get rained out or something, we would always just boogie down to Evansville and go down to these clubs. And we went down there one night, and just so happened another guy that worked with us decided to tag along. That usually he wasn't part of the crew. And in this particular night, there was
The stripper loved him, didn't she?
finger sandwiches. There was a big long tray of like finger sandwiches set up for the patrons of the club.
Customer appreciation
Yeah,
night.
and this guy, like, you couldn't have fucking paid me $1,000 to eat one of them little ham sliders. Not a chance. No fucking way. And I bet you we sat there, and this was a juice bar, so there was no I don't even think we were 21 at the time. So we weren't drinking beers or nothing, and I'd be damned if I'm paying $15 for a Red Bull or a Coke. You know what I mean? And I bet you I watched that fucker go back and forth to that line 3 or 4 times.
He was at the Golden Corral.
Coming back with this plate
Guys,
of sandwiches.
they got free sandwiches.
And we looked over at him, and I thought, are you seeing this? Like, what is happening? Like, why are you doing, like, that is insane. No way would I mean, and I'm a fat bastard. I'm an opportunist when it comes to eating for free food, you
like
know.
a raccoon in a trash can.
Amen. But I'm not eating a finger sandwich at a titty bar, that's for sure.
We were in Evansville at an establishment, and this was in the college days. And we were there it was a large group of us, and I was sitting there with a guy that he looks up across from Perv Row, and he goes, "That's my fucking athletic director from high school." And he was over there just throwing the ones like it was going out of style. And as soon as those two made eye contact, the AD was like, "You don't know I'm here."
I've been to one before with a group of guys where they were both going to school at VU at the time, and a girl that was in one of his classes was dancing. And that got a little awkward, you know what I mean, for just a short bit. And then I've also been to another one in Louisville and was getting that was another weird thing. So, like, at this particular place in Louisville, we were all at a concert, and then after we got done with the concert, we went, and we were all, like, some guy that was with us kind of had, like, fuck you money or something, so he bought, like, 3 or 4 or 5 of us all lap dances. So we were all, like, getting lap dances, and this, like, so you were basically on, like, this huge sectional, and you were sitting, like, like, it would be like if us three were sitting on this side of the table, and we were all simultaneously getting lap dances, like, and the strippers were, like, talking to each other, and, like, we're talking, hey, you know, that's pretty good, you know, hey, yeah, it's pretty good, you know.
That must be what, like, a gangbang.
Yeah, it was wild. And this guy, the chick that was giving me a lap dance, went to high school with the guy that was sitting next to me that was in my group. And then the whole time, they're just, like, talking about high school, and I'm just sitting there like, yeah.
Nice tits.
That is great. You know, good deal. You know, glad I didn't pay for this.
We were down in Louisville for a guy's bachelor party. Some friends of the program, they were down there, and we were they had trivia, and I was the
At a titty bar?
I was the smartest.
I bet the intellectual level. That's terrible.
Well, hold on.
No,
here's the thing.
Shots
I
fired.
was the smartest man in PTs that night in Louisville.
Did you get a free lap dance?
No, I got a bunch of glass. Like, I had a ton of stuff. I don't know what's happened to it, but that was one night for a bachelor party. We came back. Almost got my ass kicked one night at one. A guy that we went with was taking pictures, and the bouncer saw him, and he thought I was involved in it.
What an idiot.
No clue what was going on.
No cell phones at a booby bar.
I felt these big bear paws on my shoulder, and I was like, what do you want with me, pal?
Yeah, shout out to my cousin Ori Schaus.
Big phone in a...
No, he didn't have his phone out, but we almost tangoed with a group down at Scores in Evansville one time, and you hate to stereotype people, but in that particular event,
You're going to go ahead and do it?
there was a white young male that maybe thought in his own mind that he was part of that very hip-hop oriented African American demographic
Oh.
as a white man.
Oh.
So
Culture appropriation.
he
is what
was
we call it.
speaking in what you would say like Ebonics,
Oh, really?
and really trying to taunt us blue jean wearing white boys. And I was forcefully put into a taxi cab by a bouncer that evening, thinking that I was the aggressor. But I was not the aggressor because this feller was telling me to cross his line.
Oh, he put a line in the
Yeah,
thing?
come on, cross this line. And I wasn't having it.
Well,
But,
that guy was
yeah.
probably a regular. We never Scores a couple times, but in Evansville, we'd always go to the Lucky Lady. That was our go-to spot for 21st birthday parties.
Never really went to the Lucky.
Oh,
that
my
much.
gosh. I'd go right now.
Closer to campus, probably.
No, it's just as far as way. It's just up the road from Scores. You go up Scores and go north on First Avenue or Main Street. It's right
Oh.
there.
Yeah, like
But-
I said, matter of fact, I don't think I've ever been into the Lucky Lady.
But they did $2 Miller High Life bottles on like Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even about going for the scenery. They would have football on and Miller High Lifes. And we were
a lot of football on Tuesdays, huh?
well, I think it might have been either Thursday or Wednesday. I don't know.
Fucking pervert.
Yeah. But
We went to
we'd go and drink $2 Miller High Lifes. We'd go drink $2 Miller High
We
Lifes.
talked about that.
Six.
We talked about that titty bar trip when we went to Knob Creek, didn't we? That machine gun shoot down in Bullitt County, Kentucky. And we were going to stop at this one gentleman's lounge that I think was called River Girls Lounge or some shit. And it had this huge sign that said $2 drafts. And we were so off put by, it was like walking into into a 1970s horror film. And my one buddy he's a smoker, he's like, hey, can I get an ashtray? And the bartender that was probably 75 pulled an empty beer bottle out of the trash and said, "Here, ash in this. You're not supposed to smoke in here because the health department. We serve food too." And yeah, nobody ordered a $2 draft. I'll just take it. We were just, I'll take a Busch Light, or whatever. And yeah, it was wild.
We did. We were on a buddy's bachelor party in Nashville, and I forget.
Sounds like titty bars are probably the best people watching so far that we've come across.
And we were whichever one is on the west end of Broadway that's across the interstate. We were there
in Nashville.
Yeah,
I don't think
Hustler maybe.
I don't think I've ever been to one in Nashville either.
And we were so floored by the fact, like our taxi cab driver was like, "Hey, none of them serve alcohol, or that one doesn't serve alcohol. You can take your own
beer." Kind of like the Booby
So
Bungalow.
a bunch of good old boys
down in Dayton.
You could bring your own beer, but it had to be warm, and you had to buy the ice there.
So
I think that's how the Booby
Dayton,
Bungalow
you could
was.
take your beer, and it could be cold, but you had to pay them to bring it to you. So you went and bought the case of beer, then you had to pay them $1 a beer to bring it to you, and then you had to tip them.
So you had to pay they had a per like case charge that they charged you, but there was like 10 or 12 of us, about 5 or 6 30 racks of Busch Light, and
that
it was
my
a party.
21st birthday. We went over there for no, pardon me. I was 21. That next day was my mom's 42nd birthday.
Oh,
and I missed
So
it.
you went for your mom. Oh,
because we went out to the booby bar until
here's
4 a.m.
a moment where future me didn't think about it. We went down, so outside of Savannah, Georgia, on the South Carolina side, there is a gentleman's establishment where there's the liquor store in the basement and the club
Poker
upstairs.
in the rear.
Yeah. And so it's off the kind of this highway beaten path, but it's in South Carolina, but it's the one everybody from Savannah goes to. And we went down as buddy from college, and we were going down to see Florida Man. And he was like, "Hey, there's this club we need to go to. They don't sell beer. We can buy it downstairs. It'll all work out." It's like, perfect. We go and have a blast. Like, he's a strip club connoisseur. We're just drinking beers. Like, run down a liquor store, drink cake. Like, it was just a blast. We'd met some guys from Texas that were there for a bachelor party, play golf, all that other stuff. We became friends instantly, obviously. I mean, we're sociable people. Have a blast. Close the place down. We're lucky that those guys hung around. Like, we closed the place down together because there was 0 cabs. Turn the lights off, get the hell out. We had no way to get back to our hotel. It's like 3 a.m. I was like, "What are we going to do?" And the guys from Texas was like, "Hey, boy, just come on with us. We got plenty of room." We rode in this 8-passenger van, and there was 14 of us in there. It was a tight squeeze.
God.
So fast forward to Janelle and I have been married a couple years, and her family did a trip down to Tybee Island, which is south of Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're driving back because we had to leave early to come back for a wedding, and we were flying out of Charleston. So we're driving up, and right when we drive past this place, I go, "That's a strip club." And she goes, "How do you know?" And I was like, "Because I've been there." And she's like, "I didn't realize." I was like, "Yeah, she goes, "I thought it was a liquor store." "Yeah, down below on the main level. The strip club's upstairs." Rolled right past it, didn't even realize it, and I was like, "Son of a bitch," because I just
Oh, wow.
that's the club.
Trip down memory lane.
Yeah, and had to explain it to Janelle.
People in the wild.
It is.
Love it.
We're going to take a quick pause because that was a hot one. We'll be right back. And we're back, Brother Dave.
So I've been thinking about the whole chicken and the egg thing. Oh, what came first, the chicken and the egg? And everyone's like, "Oh, you can't ever figure that out. You'll never know." But seems to me that it could not have been the egg. Because had it been the egg, at whatever time this happened, what's the chances that, God puts the egg down, I'm going to hide this thing under this little leaf, and then something comes and sits on it for 3 weeks so it can incubate and hatch. Right? It would have just, somebody would have had an omelet, and that'd have been about the end of it. We wouldn't have fucking chickens.
We went from titty bars to this.
Well, I didn't know when I put my topic on at first that we were going to be talking about titty bars.
For 25 minutes.
But it was either simultaneous or a couple chickens. But if it had been the egg first, we wouldn't have had a chicken now.
So what is
So realistically, you have to have 2 chickens in order to have a
Definitely, there would have been
egg.
2 eggs, or unless the chicken was placed pregnant. Maybe the first chicken was knocked up already with child. Laid some eggs, and then you had some interbreeding. Would have had to been. And that's the thing. You have 1 egg. What's it going to breed with? So it had to be a pregnant chicken. Right?
So what's the argument? So let's be fair and balanced here. What is the argument for people that say the egg came first?
That's what I'm telling you. I don't think there is one. My whole life, I thought it was something you couldn't figure out, but I think I figured it out, boys. It was a pregnant chicken came
So
first.
can I ask this question? When did this thought hit you? Like, what was going on in Dave's world for this thought to finally come true?
I was at work.
Oh, okay. I was good. I was going to say nothing incriminating, I hope.
No, I was at work, and sometimes you just got to be on it with isms. You like the smoker-isms.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just say, okay, you got
Or the autisms.
either way.
Yeah.
But you got to
You've
keep those
definitely
in
got
the
a
bank.
touch of it.
Yeah, you got to keep those in the bank because you never know when
really
you're going to
think
need
he
it.
does?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Without a doubt.
could be.
Oh, the social anxiety about things, then medicates it,
Hermit.
and then he's got the numbers.
Hermit.
Very like schedule driven.
Organizes his bills in his wallet by value and face front.
And they got to be the right way up or down.
See what I mean?
But he hangs out with some folks that are
Yeah,
not
they're
on
not.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not. That's just because he's an equal opportunity friend haver.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank
But
God.
anyway, I was thinking about the whole
Thank God.
the chicken or the egg, and then I really got thinking, well, it couldn't have been the egg.
Why did it cross the road?
It couldn't have been the egg. How would it have hatched, and what would have knocked it up? It wouldn't have, because
Friends
there's
at
no
home, we've got
chicken.
people in the peanut gallery that are questioning Dave's logic right now.
He's about to blow a gasket.
Yeah, we're really.
Good thing
really-
is
I should have made a chart.
So this says,
Yes.
in all reality, it had to be the chicken, right? What's the chances a couple of eggs set down and something just happened to sit on them long enough to hatch? Or it was simultaneously.
I think it.
Now, we got a member of the audience thinks they have a way the eggs hatched.
Shh.
Now, if we think the chicken
So
started out
she's
as
saying
reptile,
she's saying that the chicken, the OG first gen chicken may have had a touch.
Could have been a
Hey,
dinosaur.
Yeah, it might have had a small touch of reptilian in it to where their eggs.
Oh, the old chicken lizard.
So then the egg could have been buried in some sort of, or maybe the first chicken
Was close to a volcano.
Yeah, I was going to say derived in some sort of warm, arid climate with a warmed soil to where it wouldn't actually have to have the body heat of a hen, the mother hen, to be broody to sit on that egg for the incubation period for that egg to hatch.
Now, we talk about chickens, but why has nobody ever asked about penguins?
Do penguins lay their eggs? They sit on eggs.
The husband does.
The husband, yeah, the man does. Yeah,
Very progressive.
You know why? Because that woman's out there getting that food.
Yeah, making
Or
supper.
it's shark bait.
Yeah.
Well, that's how God was born. Or Jesus was born because
Adam and Eve, I think, were more the poof.
yeah, they were the poof, but like Jesus was
Jesus was born like we were born.
no, Mary never had sex.
He was born the same. He wasn't conceived the same.
That's
He
what
was
I'm
born-
saying.
Well, he wasn't.
That's not what you
conceived.
were saying.
Huh?
He wasn't conceived technically.
No.
That's what I'm- but he was born. He come out of a
Virgin.
Yeah, that's what.
the
I-
canal and the whole dilation. And
Listen, Dave. Here's the whole thing I want to ask you.
Yeah.
What if this topic, whether the chicken or the egg came first, is one big government psyop to distract from what's really going on?
now, buddy, it's all government overreach. But I think this has been around before our government.
It's probably
I think
true.
Socrates, Aristotle were pondering on this.
Really?
Those brainiacs couldn't figure it out.
Now-
Here I am.
Here's my question. The cavemen, they didn't eat chickens.
How do you know?
I don't. Where did the chicken? Where was the first chicken from?
Belarus.
Haiti.
Frodo or
Proto chicken. We got prototype chickens. That's what I said. The OG first gen chicken.
Now this is getting into government shit where the pigeons are spies and drones.
And dolphins are carrying weapons.
Dolphins are smarter than we give them credit for.
I don't debate.
Yeah, AI definitely says the egg came first, as eggs, including hard-shelled amniotic eggs, existed long before birds. Therefore, the first true chicken, emerged from an egg laid by a bird that was not yet modern chicken, but rather a proto-chicken, which was the result of a genetic mutation in the egg zygote.
I don't even believe that the chicken came first.
That really takes away the fun. Because how do you have the
concept
genetic
of hard-shelled-
modification in the egg?
Oh fuck.
How do you have the what?
The genetic modification in the egg.
The government.
312 to 340 million years ago, a long time before the chickens existed.
How does that even make sense?
Carbon dating.
Bo butter. How are you going to tell me that there was a chicken egg but no chicken to lay it? What the fuck happened here?
It's a proto chicken.
I've seen you tell me what was the egg before it was an egg then? Autobots rule out. No.
I am Optimus Prime. This is a question that will probably live forever.
No, because the chicken come first.
Yeah, but if you Google it, it says...
Now, what you're going to get down to, there might have been a pterodactyl and a crow, and then them made a chicken. It was a proto-chicken. But then what came first from the Okay.
Millions of years
Oh,
ago,
boy.
proto-chickens, birds very similar to
So, Ben,
chickens,
then that's
Isn't there
the
a
chicken
cartoon
came
about
first.
proto-
evolved from their earlier ancestors. The chicken egg, at some point, a genetic mutation occurred in the reproductive cells of a proto-chicken and the resulting of a fertilized egg creating the very first chicken. This egg, containing the DNA of the first true chicken, hatched into the world's first actual chicken.
But if you're calling
So the
them
egg
proto
came
chickens,
first.
then they're chickens.
Yeah. So where did a proto-chicken come from?
A genetic, evolved bird. A bird that...
So the bird is
Evolved.
still first, though. That's the point.
Yeah, but it wasn't a chicken.
But if you keep calling it a proto chicken, you're defining the proto
It's
with chicken.
I just really like chicken. You never seen Terminator? I want chicken.
I've seen Terminator.
Chicken sandwiches. I really love chicken. You ever seen that kid on the meme?
But you don't like Raising Cane's because they only sell chicken strips.
Fucking overrated. Stupid ass sauce.
Unpopular opinion.
Apparently, so is the chicken coming first in this crowd.
Dave, listen. I am on
It's
your
okay
side.
to be wrong.
No, it's
That's
not.
fine.
Not in Dave's
That's
spectrum.
Fair. That's fair. Spectrum.
Well, I tell you what, Dave. I just have a great appreciation for the wild things that you bring us. Because a couple weeks ago, it was about this new ocean underneath.
That ended up being a fat fucking flop.
And then, now...
Hey,
this
nerd.
chicken
Stay in your lane.
Yeah, pragmatic beast. So what does this mean? Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely
Good.
nothing.
So again, I'll ask, what does this mean?
Nothing.
Absolutely
Absolutely
nothing. But I love the
what I'm
insight
here
into
for.
how your brain works.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Glad somebody appreciates it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
More than you'll ever know.
Hey, before we get going any further, we got to introduce our friends at Merkley and Sons because we're going to do
3
big things
from
who we thought was our friend Brado.
Till there's better friends to have.
Yep, he freaking dumped us like yesterday's trash in a Velpen disposal. It is campfire season. Heck yeah. A quality campfire is not only good for roasting marshmallows and drinking cold ones, but you can cook a hell of a hot dog, brat, or sausage over that open flame. The destination to get all those quality campfire-ready meats, well, you know the name. It's Merkley and Sons, of course. They are and will forever be the ultimate destination for meat enthusiasts. Oh, look at that. Oh, go back to that email, Dave. I want to read that real quick. Great seeing you guys at the barbecue competition.
It saw us for a second.
Yeah, and then he was gone.
Had better things to do.
Let's see. And then he said, you guys always do a great job. We appreciate it. Smoke, happy belated birthday. after football, you'll need to set aside some time for me.
We need to set aside time for him.
Yeah, after he dropped us like a bad habit.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, Brado.
We can make time for Brado.
Listen, I just want him to fall off the, I was getting ready to say escalator, but that's not it. The elliptical. While he's jamming away to us.
I don't like
All right, first big
I
thing.
don't like that. That's
Broken promises for decades. Publishers Clearinghouse changed people's lives with prize money it said would keep coming for as long as they lived. But now the company is in bankruptcy and winners' dreams have turned into nightmares. From Brado. Ha. I don't know why, but I laughed when I read this headline. Lawsuits incoming. But then, if plaintiffs win, who's going to pay the rest of the money if the company is broke? Well, Brado, the thing of it is when you file bankruptcy protection like the Publishers Clearinghouse has, very high likelihood there's not going to be any money left over to pay those that have claims. So you get into the contractual argument because I'm sure there's a contract somewhere. But then again, you can't get blood from a turnip. So therefore, these people are shit out of luck.
I'd say there's probably fine print somewhere in the contract when you won that money that kept them safe just in this event.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, let's be honest. Who thought it was a great idea? It was great for a while. They had the big balloons and the big check and all that other stuff, and they changed these people's lives. But the Publishers Clearinghouse was just a fancy Ponzi scheme that people continued to pay money in to pay the money out to those that won. So, surprise, it got caught up. Happens to all of them in these Ponzi schemes. So
now there could be generational wealth tied back to this that somebody could tap into because it's been going on a long time.
So they filed Chapter 11 in April of this year. The company sold its assets to ARB Interactive, a digital gaming firm, for $7.1 million. The Forever Prize problem. The bankruptcy means that Forever Prize winners, those promised a lifetime of payments, will no longer receive their money. Past winners, the clearinghouse new owner, ARB Interactive, will not honor lifetime prize payments owed before July 15 of 25, and ARB Interactive will be responsible for paying the prizes awarded after July 25.
which was probably for ARB Enterprises to buy Publishers Clearinghouse. That was negotiated that, and I wouldn't be surprised if Publishers Clearinghouse has a few members in ARB that Publishers Clearinghouse
It says why the change. It says declining revenue. PCH revenue from print and merchandise.
Nobody's buying magazines.
Exactly. Yeah, print and merchandise advertising declined
Jesus.
significantly in the years leading up to
Print and merchandise and purchase.
But yeah, I think used to you'd see it a lot on television. The Publishers Clearinghouse.
Yeah, that's where they had
Well,
the
the
big check.
Reader's Digest back in the day, that was part of that.
infomercials and all that
Geographic.
shit. But I think ever since like cable went away and
No commercials, man.
yeah, no commercials and streaming services and digital ad currency and everything
It's
like
funny
that.
that streaming services have commercials again.
Right.
And now you're buying all the streaming services and you're still getting the commercials, and it's like, shit, might as well
I know.
have cable.
Yeah, well, that's what I told Janelle.
Justine's been watching a show on Hulu, which we've been pirating Hulu off my parents for about 2 years now, which is fine.
Yeah.
They pay for it. You're allowed to have so many screens, and that's just how it works.
No judges.
But the funny thing is like usually when you watch something like a show or something on Netflix, it's all ad-free. But then you jump over to Hulu Live, which they're paying a lot more money for Hulu Live than they are a traditional Netflix subscription. And there's
live portion.
the live portion, but like you say, there's commercials.
Same thing with
Bullshit.
Amazon Prime. There's one you can pay for to not have ads, but
Yeah.
this presentation is brought to you with limited ads from Amazon Prime.
Right.
Yeah, that's to Amazon's bad with their commercials.
Yeah.
Terrible. Terrence Bud Crawford makes history with victory over Canelo Alvarez. Terrence Crawford became the first male boxer to capture 3 unified division titles when he defeated Canelo Alvarez by unanimous decision on Saturday. From Brado, supposedly one of the biggest fights in the past decade, which I think it was on Netflix. Did you guys watch? Yeah, me neither. Why do you guys think boxing fell out of favor with the American public? My thoughts, too many belts and pay-per-view.
I think boxing fell out because UFC
I was
fell
just
in.
getting ready to say,
It's a more, to me, like I've watched both. To me,
boxing matches
mixed martial arts fight
is definitely
much more entertaining than
Amen.
straight up
I'll
boxing.
agree.
I'll say this. I think the thing, to like Brado's point, boxing has always had a slight undertone of corruption. You have the promoters, you have these other things. There's a very strong undertone of corruption. It was back that way back in the day when they used to do it when it was big. So it's no surprise here. I also think that there's great marketing on the part of the mixed martial arts folks, because they talk about how boxing, there's only one way to defeat your opponent, and you're going to continue to beat him in the head. So when you saw the likes of guys like Muhammad Ali and some of these other guys that
Down goes Frazier.
that shook like leaves on a tree because of Parkinson's and other brain trauma-related things, people don't like to see that. So I think you saw that come to age, like with Muhammad Ali and some of these others. But also boxing has lost some of its luster of those big names. You know, you used to be able to talk about Tyson, Sugar Ray Leonard, like those names, like
Floyd
Evander
Mayweather
Holyfield.
is probably the most recent young.
I hate that little bastard.
But I mean, like, has there been anybody
him
with
to
a
death.
big name like him since him?
Manny,
and I'm not a
Manny Pacquiao.
Okay, yep, I've heard of that name.
Those guys. But I remember I used to watch Trouble Sleeping. ESPN used to have their top-ranked boxing or whatever, and that's where Terrence Bud Crawford came from. And, like, cool to watch it. But also on the flip side, Canelo Alvarez kind of is not the name that he once was.
Old, cocky and old. I was talking to Cesar, which Cesar is a big boxing guy.
Well,
which
because it's big in
Mexico,
their culture.
Yeah, Mexico it's a big, lucha libre. You got that rodeo scene, and you got boxing. And as soon as I brought up the fight, because I watched a couple of highlights whenever fucking Crawford basically turned him inside out, hit him with that. The Canelo came in with that. He swatted down with his he swatted Crawford's guard hand down and went for a giant right hook, and then Crawford ducked
And
just came across and fucking caught him and basically turned him around, spun him around, and the facial expression that Canelo made and everything, I was like, oh, fuck. That didn't work, When then Cesar immediately went into talking about Canelo Alvarez and like how he was overrated, cocky, he's had he's old, he's washed up and all this shit, da-da-da. Never heard of these two guys before in my life.
Really?
To be completely honest. Never heard of either of them.
So they, but the other thing too is like what boxing did is they went and chased a model to where they got on the pay-per-view side.
Oh yeah,
where it was very difficult
to afford it.
To afford it.
Yeah.
To watch, like HBO used to have fights.
Now
like,
UFC was expensive.
Dana White though, but they just published. Well, I just saw today. It could have been any time in the last 3 weeks, but they published how many fights now are going to be because of the new contract with Paramount.
Yeah, Paramount Plus.
So 2026 is going to be like 44. What would have been pay-per-view events are going to be on Paramount Plus, and then the 12 slap fights they're going to have.
They had Dana White on
that slap fight.
fellow podcasting friends there at Pardon My Take. Dana White was there, and he's like, some of this is because they've seen the same thing. You're not going to go buy an $80, $90 pay-per-view because you're already outlaying all this money on the streaming side.
Right.
And that was another big thing with like NFL, MLB, like these commissioners. I forgot where I saw it, but you'd have to almost spend like $1,500 to watch every NFL game that's offered on Amazon Prime, Peacock, Paramount
HBO,
Plus, like all that stuff. So, like Dana White and those guys, very smart.
Oh yeah, I was going to
people.
say he's a brilliant.
And
dude.
it's just like WWE partnering with ESPN, like that's part of that branding where
Piggyback.
their stuff is going on, making it more accessible for people. But I think boxing fell out of favor with the American public with the rise of UFC because it was more fun and entertaining to watch.
100%. Because there's more than one way to win in UFC.
And of course, if you're like a guy,
Like, you'll see a good hit in a boxing match, but you'll see shit happen that you would never. It just comes out of left field.
Right.
Yeah.
Breaking limbs,
Well, and
submissions, like all
the
of it.
the stars are coming up in UFC. Boxing doesn't have stars. Stars is what makes you money. And I think where you're, with the fight game, it's just you don't have that star recognition. UFC, you don't necessarily have it, but you trust that Dana White's going to put a good product out there. And boxing with that undertone of corruption, it's just not there anymore. Like people they're attuned to that a little bit. So, I mean,
I would much rather watch highlights of old fights than anything new,
yeah.
in my opinion.
Well, and how many people are signing their kid up to go box, but you'll sign your kid up to go do jiu-jitsu or karate or Muay Thai.
Karate.
I'm a little offended by this last now that I read it.
Okay. From Brado, the rise of Instax cameras.
Isn't that what the ones you said that your kids have when I brought up
Fujifilm's
Polaroids?
Insta cameras is snowballing in popularity, but why now? And what does its success say about the future of analog experiences in a digital world? No idea what an Instax camera is. What about the Dutchman? What is the appeal? Brado, thanks for listening to the show, man.
A month ago, pal. We covered this
Thoroughly.
Shake it like a Polaroid.
I have 2 in my house right now, and my kids love them because, unlike a cell phone, it is a materialistic, physical photo.
Hanging on a wall, put it on the fridge.
Exactly. My daughter's bed, the whole headboard is full of little, these little Instax
Photos.
Insta photos. Now we're not talking a full,
5x8.
no. What size were the original Polaroids? They were
probably like a 3x3.
Yeah, 3x3 or so. These Instax cameras are small. They're probably like a 2x2.5 or something like that. And they're just so easy. Like I said, like we literally talked about this in the show the last time. My sister-in-law, when she got married in Arizona, like that was a huge thing. Like there were those cameras were floating around everywhere. And I think it's cool because a lot of the kids in today's society never got to experience the OG Polaroids when we were kids.
Yeah, the big
black
boxes.
And now they see this age-old technology coming back, and they can put their cell phone down and pick these new things up that they think is new, but literally have been around for ages. And it's just got a draw to them.
Yeah, I don't have anything like that in our household. Kids are young. There's no reason to have it. But I think some of it, too, is kids, even though with their phones, you can't, you can send and share pictures, but, like, you probably limit.
Like having the physical photo is where it's at.
Well, and this is going to be an old heads comment, and I might as well get my New Balances back out. But we take a ton of pictures, birthdays, holidays, all that other stuff. And we use Amazon Photos, and I'm like, Janelle, we're never going to do anything with this stuff. Like, I think there was one point where we bought 3, like, photo album books that we were going to try to do, and it just never happened. Just never one of those things. But things that are old become new again with some great rebranding.
That's right.
There it is. Brado,
You'd have known that if you watched the show.
his text message when this comes out next Friday is going to be fire.
I'm hurt.
I know you are, buddy.
Between this and the giving us a cold shoulder at the BBQ contest,
Yeah.
tough spot.
Yeah, it is. Buddy, you want to do, before we do some final thoughts, do you want to?
Sure. We can do that. So for everybody that's watching at home and looking at the screen, they will notice 4 beautiful tumblers that were sponsored by our buddy Nick Merkley and the fine folks over at Southern Indiana Hardwoods. And it was supposed to be given away as a door prize for the teams at the barbecue competition. But like everything, a lot of stuff going on. Everybody was locked in, at the task at hand, and we simply just forgot to do it. So what we're going to do right now on the show is I took all of the teams that
Didn't win a cash prize.
didn't win a cash prize.
Sorry, Pete and Mike Condra.
Yeah, all the teams that didn't win a cash prize at the barbecue competition, I've put their name on a piece of paper, and we're going to shake that up.
Shake, shake, shake.
And what you're
your
going
money,
to
shake,
receive
shake,
when
shake,
you're,
shake.
if your name is drawn, you're going to receive these 4 tumblers to split amongst your team.
Great tumblers, by the way.
And also, you're going to receive a $100 gift certificate for Southern Indiana Hardwoods and all of their Green Mountain Grill products, pellets, grills, cooking supplies, utensils for your grills, all of it. So if you're a friend of the program and you participated in the competition and you didn't win, tune in. We're going to draw your name out of the hat and we're going to give it to you. So
Hold her high and
You
let
gotta look
Casey
at me.
pick. Let Casey pick.
with whatever happens here, boys. Hold on. Let's get him down in the corner here. Brother Casey, take a pick here. Just one. Who's it going to be?
Congratulations to our friends, Jed and Joe Fitch, our big winners.
Hell
All
yeah.
right. So the Fitch boys, Jed and Joe Fitch, and a guest appearance by Joey's wife and
old man
old man Dano out there slaving away over them pellet grills. Which, by the way, they were running a Green Mountain that night. So good for them. I'll get that delivered to you at a prompt manner. And yeah, congratulations to
I
Joey
take
and
prompt lightly.
Joey and Jed Fitch. Hell yeah.
Congratulations to those guys. All right, fellas. It is time for one more last pass and one final lap around the table for some final thoughts brought to you by our friends over there at Hopf Outdoor Power. September. September is the gateway to fall. And you know what else happens in September? Polaris Factory Authorized Clearance. The Polaris Factory Authorized Clearance is going on right now at Hopf Outdoor Power in Jasper. That's right. Now is the best time to purchase your Polaris side-by-side or ATV at the best prices of the year. Let me repeat. Now is the best time to purchase your Polaris side-by-side or ATV because what's going on in September? Polaris Factory Authorized Clearance is what's going on. And the place to shop? Hopf Outdoor Power in Jasper. And tell them the Dutchman sent you. All right, Brother Dave.
Hey, thanks for everybody coming out and seeing us in Holland last weekend. It was good catching up with everybody. Thanks for everybody who's been tuning in for nearly 3 years now. Thanks to everybody that's tuning in for the first, second, third, fourth time. We appreciate it. We appreciate your support. Fall's upon us. That's my favorite time of year. Shorts and a hoodie and a fire is the way to go as far as I'm concerned. Keep your friends and family close and keep the good times closer and keep on wondering.
Big fella.
Well, I don't know if all of you folks out there at home read internet news or see anything, in the news about, what's going on as of late. And it's a wild world out there. A lot of opinions flying, a lot of doom and gloom going on. And I hate to bring up one more doom and gloom story, but I'm going to anyway. But
Okay.
as we approach coming up here in a couple weeks, we got the Indiana opener for the whitetail archery season. Will kick off October the 1st. The weekend prior to that, we'll have youth season where all the dads and grandpas and moms and aunts and uncles will get them young hunters out there and give them a first crack at their first whitetail or whatever have you. But I just want to bring up a quick little safety contact. Telling somewhere where you go to hunt is crucial in today's society with tree stand falls, with becoming incapacitated out in the woods. You never know what's going to happen. Always have some sort of communication device. Always tell somebody where you're going to go. If you've got the opportunity by using OnX Maps to drop a pin and send it to your loved one or your spouse or whoever it may be. But there's an extremely sad story coming out of Conejo County, Colorado, where 2 out-of-state elk hunters were reported missing in southern Colorado near New Mexico border, and they were actually found dead after a 6-day very intense search. Both of these fellows were 25, 26-year-old kids that just decided to go out and try to kill an elk, and they had some very inclement weather roll in that was unexpected. A lot of rain, a lot of thunder and lightning, a lot of fog. And like I said, they became incapacitated. They didn't reach back to who they were supposed to reach back to, and that triggered the search. But they were just out elk hunting as buddies. They were going to try to have a good time, try to harvest an elk, and they were in the San Juan Wilderness, which is in Colorado and New Mexico border, and they were actually found dead today. So nobody ever takes it serious when you say, even though you could be hunting grandpa's tree stand, the same tree stand you've been hunting for years, and I'm only going to go out to the farm. I should be out there for a few hours, but keep your cell phone on. Make sure your battery's charged. If you don't have cell phone signal, make sure you have, I don't even know what it is, a walkie-talkie, a fucking flare gun for all that matters. But tell somebody where you're going. Always let somebody know when you're going to be back, and make sure you got a plan in action for if and when an emergency happens when you're afield trying to harvest an animal. So I just, like I said, I hate to be gloom and doom, but it's something that a lot of people take for granted, and a lot of people pass that by. But do it. It could save your life in an event of an emergency, and just be smart about it. And other than that, thanks for listening. Love you guys. Keep your stick on the ice.
Well, it's funny you bring that up. There's a local story. Individual, I don't know if he's a fan of the show, but he was out scouting on an ATV,
Yep.
and he was getting ready to cross a ditch line.
Yep.
Didn't realize the drop off. Four-wheeler front dropped, flung him. Four-wheeler landed on him. Pretty serious neck injury where, out of the three options, he could have been dead, paralyzed, or have a significant injury. He fortunately, the significant injury. But when you read the post on Facebook, pulled his phone out of his pocket, was able to call a conservation officer that he knew because he's involved in law enforcement, and was able to get a call for help and all that stuff. And really, just to your point, if he didn't have his phone, nobody really knew where he was at, and he was in a ditch line, hard to find even by telling him, because I think in his post it said that basically him and the conservation officer did Marco Polo to find him, which is funny to think about, but that's what they did to find him. And he said there was water, like the possibility of drowning was real. So it is. Be careful when you're doing that stuff, because obviously that puts a real damper on things. For me, big thank you to Celebration Ice. A big thank you to Chad Blessinger Insurance. Of course, our friends over there at Merkley and Sons, and our buddy Greenwell for coming out to the competition.
Yep.
Finished second there in the People's Choice. Last year he was the People's Choice winner, but finished second this year in the People's Choice voting. But always good to see Greenie. He hung out with us.
He's a trooper. Does a lot of it by himself.
That Duluth trading cheeseburger shirt. But he brings the family out, and that's
Loved
what's
it.
cool. All those teams, bring family and friends out, and that makes it enjoyable, because really that's what we're about. And, of course, our friends at Hopf Outdoor Power, who will get you into a new side-by-side this month. Polaris has got a hell of a deal going on. And, of course, my thought of it is it takes a lot of time for us to do this, fellas. There's a lot of work that goes into it, the behind-the-scenes aspect of it. But when we get a chance to just hang out and cut loose and enjoy doing it, there's nobody else I'd rather spend time with. And I'm not pumping your guys' tires, because I can be a little bit of the social outcast and not want to do things. But I look forward to the barbecue competition. I look forward to when we do stuff together, because we have a lot of fun. There's a lot of laughs. And, those people that continue to support us, we appreciate it. Our wives that continue to allow us, because it could be shut down pretty fast. But we do it for you guys, and that's the big thing, because this show is for you guys. So all of you out there that have been day ones, we freaking love the hell out of you. Brado, you're on very thin ice.
Very thin.
Very thin. Good thing
I still love you, Brado.
Good thing you're a little fella, not a hefty guy, because it could be at the bottom of the lake. But those that have just come on board, because we've had some growth recently, man, we appreciate the hell out of it.
We love you too.
Don't be afraid to say hi. And those that have wandered out of southern Indiana that take us to wherever they're going, we appreciate the hell out of you too.
Right.
And with that, fellas, good to be back in the lounge.
Dutchman out.